No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. Ginger Banks, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah. We were just talking about how you would feel, hypothetically, if you found out that your dad had a bunch of private snaps that he was paying for.
As long as it's not my private snap, I don't give a fuck. Please,
Right, which I think is fair.
masturbate, pay to porn, pay for your porn, not mine.
Right.
Please.
The dad thing actually always comes up. Maybe we should just tackle that out the gate. Like, what's your relationship with your father?
Not the best.
Because of your job or just in general?
I mean, it definitely did not improve when he found out about my job because my sister is also a cam model, so it's kind of like a 1-2 punch. Funny enough, it was on Father's Day.
That he found out?
Yeah, like I don't see him that much, so it was either tell him on Father's Day or wait until Christmas.
Whoa. Because
So-
how long have you been doing it?
9 years now.
You've been doing it for 9 years, but he just found out about it?
I think it was kind of one of those things where you just don't want to ask the question, like, how the fuck is my daughter living in the nicest apartment? And
But did he say something? Like, did he
No.
see something? Like, how do you know that he knows?
I told him, I said,
Oh,
I'm a
okay.
cam model and my sister does it too. And his initial response was that he convinced himself my boyfriend was forcing me to do it.
Oh my God.
There's no way my baby girl, there's no way my baby girl could do this on her own.
And then where'd the conversation go from there? Did you just kind of let him be mad, or did you try to explain to him,
No,
like, I'm a
it's-
sex worker, Dad, it's okay? Like,
It seemed like it went pretty well. Like I was being honest with him and stuff. And then the next day he texts me and was like, hey, we think that your boyfriend is forcing you. Are you okay? Like, this is definitely not something, I know you're trying to glamorize it, because I was traveling all over the country. I had just made like 5 figures that month. So it was kind of like,
You're feeling good. You're like, fuck it, I'm
I
gonna
was
tell
like
my
proud
dad.
of myself, and so it did not go as well. And that was like, my brother and sister stopped talking to me when he found out, and I haven't talked to them in 4 years.
Wow.
I actually just sent my brother a text message like yesterday saying, yo, we're going to run into each other. I know we live in the same city, and that's
he
going to
didn't
be
respond
fucking
yet?
awkward. No, he didn't. It sucks, but I'll keep reaching out every now and then. I'm just going to focus on myself. I'm sure he hears my name every now and then out there. Hopefully it's not in the porn world. It's more like interviews and stuff, because I know it's got to be weird. I know it's
Are they like
uncomfortable.
religious or conservative, or any particular reason that they would be so offended by this?
I don't think that it was like the healthiest, most open sexual environment, Like I think
Right.
most people are kind of raised like that.
Yeah.
And so,
Where you feel guilty because you get boners.
yeah, exactly. And
Something
it's like
wrong with you.
the one thing we all have in common, right? We all came from a
A
vagina.
boner. Yeah.
And a boner and a vagina got together and made you.
Merging together. Beautiful synergy. Yeah. Do you remember when you were conceived?
Let me meditate on that and get
Probably
back
the
to
best question I've ever asked, and I don't know where it came from, but
deep down into that was a biological
okay. But
question.
have you throughout your life ascertained any information about how you were conceived? Did your parents tell you that it happened at like a movie theater or anything?
No, they were
okay.
like married together. It was super traditional and vanilla, I'm
Okay.
sure.
Nice.
Probably missionary.
Where'd you grow up?
Cottonwood, Arizona. It's like near Sedona, Arizona. I don't know if you know of that place.
I don't.
Sedona's really beautiful. It's like the Grand Canyon, but like up. So instead
Okay.
of like a giant hole, it's like a bunch of really giant, cool looking red mountain ranges.
Oh, okay.
So, if you're into psychedelics,
Right.
go check it out.
I will. I will go there and I'll take the ayahuasca that I have in my pocket right now. I'm actually microdosing Kush today. House weed pre-roll. Is this what you guys are smoking?
Can you microdose that?
Nah, I'm big dosing it, in fact.
Yeah, no, we smoked some THCA crystals before I came here.
Did you? What are those like exactly?
It's just, I've been smoking out of the Puffco thingy, so like it seems like that leaves the least amount of residue when I'm
okay.
done. So it seems the cleanest.
I'm a
you know?
blunt smoker.
I'll smoke whatever's put in front of me.
Oh, okay.
As long as it's weed.
Have you always been like that?
No, I started when I was
Smoking since
19,
you're
so
an
it's been
infant?
about
Yeah.
just right out of the hatch.
Imagine you're just
Mom!
born and your parents just pass you the blood like from
Roll
day
it
one.
up.
You just how long you been smoking? Just forever.
Pass the Dutchie to the baby.
One time. So when you were 19 though, you got turned out on Kush.
Yeah, I started going to Arizona State and, gateway drug. No, just weed. It's mostly weed.
Light beer and Kush.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking Coors Light.
You have pretty traditional high school experience, or what was that all like for you?
Yeah, I was a cheerleader.
Ooh.
So, cheerleading, football. I was in drama also. So I guess I was kind of weird.
You were just doing it all?
Yeah, I mean, I do what I like. I liked getting attention from people for being a cheerleader, and acting is fun.
Right.
I consider myself a sexual performance artist now.
Was there any indication during your high school years that you had any sort of likelihood of getting into the sex worker world?
I definitely was sending around a lot of nudes.
Oh, but you weren't
in high
getting
school.
banged out by the whole basketball team like Tiana Trump told us?
No, like I lived in a really small town, and I saw
basketball team,
I saw
unfortunately.
How they do just treat sexual girls like shit, man. So I waited until college to slut it up.
I remember when I was
did.
13 that there was a huge scandal because one of the girls got fingered.
I was just thinking
everybody was
the
just talking
exact
about
same
it.
thing in middle school and like freshman year of high school. Like,
Right.
the devil fucking entered her or something.
Yeah, like people were talking about her like she is just the biggest sinner of all time because she got fingered by this dude that we knew who was like a year and a half older.
Exactly. And
Crazy.
like everybody who was saying that, like they were just jealous or upset or that they weren't getting any action.
We were talking
usually.
about this the other day too, that it was crazy. Like I remember when I was like 13 that like the hottest girls that I was going to school with that I thought were hot, they were getting picked up by dudes with cars after school.
And looking back, you're kind of
And looking back at it, it's like, wow, those dudes are fucked up.
yeah, those dudes were shady. Why were they hanging out with 13-year-olds? Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
really notice a lot of fucked up shit until you're older, I think.
Yeah, I just remember thinking like, damn, I feel like a loser. Like I have to grow up and get money and get a car and shit because like otherwise,
That's the only way I'm gonna get pussy.
like the hottest girls in my grade are like going with these dudes who are like
Shut
way
up.
out of the league. Yeah,
I mean,
didn't.
my first boyfriend was 19 and I was 14, and my parents
jeez.
were like cool with it. And looking
Really?
back, he was fucking weird.
In Cottonwood, Arizona, that just flied.
Yeah,
Is it Cottonwood?
yeah,
Okay,
Cottonwood, next to
Cottonwood.
Cornville.
Really?
Legit.
Holy shit! You should have been born in Cornville. That's
It
a
was
better story.
yeah, it was it's a very rural place. I mean, there's good and bad people everywhere, so there's great people out there.
No, definitely, yeah. But when I look back at like where I grew up in New Hampshire, it feels like most of the people who really had something to offer were quite likely to get out of there as soon as they had a chance. You know.
Yeah, I'm really lucky I went to college. That's definitely a life-changing move.
See, there you go. Yeah, you sort of meet all these people from different places. If you just stay where you grew up, it's gonna be so
God.
hard to break out of that box.
Yeah, I don't know. I've grown a lot as a person in the past 10 years and then mostly in the past year. So it's good. I like being an adult. I like growing up. I don't know why there's so much fucking shame and stigma around getting older.
No, yeah, I think actually,
dope.
I mean, there's a lot of romance attached to the idea of being young, but I definitely think I'm way happier as I get older, and I think it's way easier to be at ease as you get older. I think that when you're really young, it's easy to romanticize those days, but when I think about my teenage years, when I think about my early 20s and stuff, there's a lot of like anxiety, a lot of not knowing what the fuck I was doing, a lot of like real existential dread and just like trying to figure shit out. Whereas like now I'm older, I feel so much more at peace, feeling
Yeah.
like I've actually kind of figured out who I am in so many ways.
Yeah, and like not giving a fuck what other people think is like essential to living a happy life, I think.
Facts.
You know, surround yourself with people whose opinions you care about, care about their opinions, because especially in like the world we are in, you're going to listen to like thousands of people, drive yourself crazy.
Oh yeah, it's so easy to get sucked into that Twitter succubus of
Oh my
hate.
God.
Yeah.
I know spending a 1 week away from Twitter is like a fucking mental health. Like you need it. You really do need it.
Sometimes I think that if I were to unfollow all the political accounts that I follow on Twitter, that my happiness level would go up a little bit because there's an extent to which I just know about. So and I've just become addicted to just reading about other people being offended by shit. And in almost all of the cases, I am not that offended, or in some cases, I can see it as offensive, but I'm just like way less offended than the person who's offended. But I mean, it's just like a constant flow of things. Like YG did this video where he dressed up in like a sombrero and it's like a Mexican type song and shit. And the first thing that like shocked me was like, wow, like I haven't seen anybody offended by this yet. Even though like YG's a fucking black dude fucking from the hood in LA. It's like obviously anyone out here, you grow up around Mexican people, and like as far as everything I know about Mexican people, I wouldn't think that they would be the types to be offended by that video. But it's like somebody's got to do it because somebody's got to get the hits, the clicks.
It's so
the
weird,
views.
like environment we're in right now. We're like really obsessed with controlling everybody else's behavior. And I think I was kind of going down that path, of like, trying to control what other people do. And I've had people try and control what I do and change me as a person, and it never fucking works.
You
and
and
I always,
Ron.
it just
Ron. I watched your video about Ron. I was
that
like,
too. Like, I mean, I it's hard because sometimes, sometimes people aren't going to change. And like the answer for him, I think really was just like not letting him be around people so he can't do that to them anymore. Because it was kind of just like one of those Harvey Weinstein type things in our industry where everybody knew about him. And I was told to my face multiple times, like, that's just what Ron Jeremy does.
But okay, so do you believe that he was really like crossing the line in terms of like physically touching people at shows and all that kind of stuff?
I mean,
Like where is the line?
To me. Well, so like,
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah, like, I mean, just taking a picture with someone, I don't think that you should be putting your hand up their vagina or in their butt crack or doing that, you know? Like,
that's unsanitary.
Yeah, it's unsanitary and it's gonna make that person feel really uncomfortable. And like, you just shouldn't. I think that he had been allowed to do it for so long that it was normal to him.
Right.
And so I don't think he saw anything wrong with it. And I think that there's amazing porn stars out there who don't do that. And so like, why are we going to keep this one dude? And he wasn't just doing it to porn stars. Like if he did a signing at a sex toy store, he would do it to,
Really?
Civilians.
Yeah.
A lot. And so like I care a lot about the stigma that surrounds our industry, and I think that him being that fucking like figure, like one of if not the most famous porn star, he's in a Sublime song, going out there in the general public and straight up sexually assaulting people, like what does that say about porn?
It's weird because you got to think that like the majority of people who would ask for a photo with him is that their reaction would be like, oh shucks, Ron, you're like so crazy, you're so funny or whatever. But I think, somebody like him in this modern day environment, it's like, dude, you can't be behaving like that because you're going to get called out. And then he did get called out. And it's like, hopefully, I would think that he's probably had to have been scared straight by the response he got,
I was
right?
told that. So I made that YouTube video. I was told by someone that they sat him down and made him watch the YouTube video. And there's, sexual assault, I believe, is happening in that. And he was saying, I don't think anything's wrong. And so they couldn't guarantee that if they had him at expos in the future, that he would not do it anymore. And so that's still like, I think that's the consensus right now, is that he still doesn't think he did anything wrong. And I think that we got to give people the ability to change. But if they're going to blatantly be like, nah, I'm not fucking doing anything wrong. Like,
right.
Yo, give me another pussy. I'm going to grab it, even if she doesn't want me to. Like, then you're kind of liable as an expo, as a convention, to have him there, if you know.
Does he still show up at the events and the expos?
I'm like
and
the
stuff?
Ron Jeremy police, so apparently. No, I'm not. I don't want to be that, but anytime he gets a job, people like want to tag me. I wish I could have a conversation with him. It's hard for me because I think that uncomfortable conversations is how you actually progress as a society.
Right.
And now, as I'm fucking a lot older, that was 3 years ago, maybe I would ask to have a conversation with him first before I would make that video. And that's always my approach now, is to have an uncomfortable conversation. If I have the ability to talk with that person, try and talk with them, or have the people close with them that they respect maybe see where these other people are coming from. But I think that because I try and think about where the things that I've changed my opinion on and how people got me to change my opinion and the process they went through. And it was never trying to control me and force me to do something. It was always getting me to realize on my own, maybe I don't want to do that, or maybe that thing that I'm thinking is wrong, or my opinion is.
Yeah, I mean, it can be tough these days because so many people like want to live in their own like sort of isolated bubble where they don't have to have conversations with people on other sides. And there's so many people that they don't really feel the need to like, why even bother to like try to find common ground between people when you could easily just like ignore them or shut them out. It's kind of it's a weird decision, I guess.
Yeah, I'm lucky to be able to have conversations with people like this, though. So I try to use that privilege, dare I say, to like change things in that regard, rather than just going to Twitter, which I know that some people do that because they really feel like they have no other option. But I feel like your life being obsessed with that your whole life, like what do you? I don't know. It seems like you're not really living your life for yourself. And so I'm trying to live my life for myself and change things that way, not like being obsessed over other people's behavior.
Right. Do you, because I was kind of surprised when I heard that you wanted to be on the podcast, just because I feel like I've had a lot of shit said about me, and I've definitely like I've said things in the past that I like completely regret and everything. There's obviously a whole lot of different
you're a human,
degrees and levels to it.
Don't we all forget that we're all human? And I've been put in positions and things have been said about me that are terrible. Like literally tweets are going out about me that say I let someone get raped on set for clout. That was one of the last
I saw a YouTube video
things.
about this.
Yeah, and I don't think that's what happened. My perspective is something totally different, and I think there's a difference between predators going out there and intentionally violating the consent of people, and it unintentionally happening when people can still get hurt that way. I think it's important to realize people can still get hurt even if it was unintentional. And you need to be able to let that person apologize and admit that mistake. And we're not creating that environment.
Right.
You know, like we're creating an environment where people are never going to admit that they did anything wrong. And so I think it's really important to distinguish between those two things, because I've done things in the past that I regret, you know, and so I think it's we just can't. You got to talk to people one-on-one. You got to see them as a human, and I'm not going to believe anything I read online without talking to the person first or without doing more research as much as I can.
That's what's up. Yeah, what do you think is like the state of sort of like the level of respect on the average porn set? Because I feel like that is one thing that's kind of in the news a lot lately. I was just seeing that, like, is it kink.com is like instituting like a consent contract where you sort of have to like fill out everything that you're comfortable with, and you establish all these different boundaries so that even if you're like not able to speak at that moment on camera, that you're able to still like indicate that you want it to stop or whatever. What's the state of affairs in that regard, do you think?
I think a lot of people have been talking about how it's improving a lot drastically in the industry. Like consent talks or having consent talks wasn't even like a thing that people even wanted to talk about. And Kink is one of the companies, I guess they've been doing it for a while, but they just released their protocols to every other studio to be like, this is what we do. Emulate us. You know, we want everything to be as safe as possible, because even with all of the protocols that Kink takes, I do believe there have been instances where people have felt that their consent has been violated on set. And I think it's important to remember that we're dealing with humans, we're dealing with a lot of people and their emotions. And I think always talking to the person right away when something happens is important. Because I do, like I said, I think there's a difference if someone does it intentionally and someone doesn't do it intentionally. And I think, especially on a porn set, it's very dangerous because we're performers and we're trying to put on a good show. And so, like, that also blurs the consent lines. Like, oh, I was being uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable the whole time, but I was putting on a performance.
Right.
You know, how is your scene partner supposed to know that they were hurting you?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to hurt anybody. So that's why more communication is just always better. Always more communication.
Would you say that your average scene that you think that everything's on the up and up in terms of like how everything operates in terms of like between the male and female talent? Is it often that you feel like there's some kind of line that's like violated, or some way that seems obvious to you that things could work better?
So I had one instance with the director where he touched us when I'm pretty sure he knew he wasn't supposed to touch us.
Right, okay.
And so, but other than that, I think it's been generally a good experience. And I think we're growing and learning as an industry and as a fucking society.
Right.
Like, I remember after this whole Me Too movement happened, I called a girl from college and I was like, yo, I'm sorry. Remember when we were all at a party that one time and everybody was like telling me to kiss you and you really didn't want to kiss me and I got on top of you and I kissed you? Like, I'm sorry. That was fucked up. And she was like, yeah, yeah, I was a little uncomfortable, but I don't really remember it. Like, it didn't make me that upset. But I think like things like that should be more common, and we should be able to talk about and recognize, like, I was just doing that because I wanted all the dudes to think I was cool. Like, you know, like, let's talk about that shit.
Right. Damn, it is crazy as fuck these days too, because like, all right, I heard about some shit with this chick who like got her whole TV show canceled because she got drunk at an after party for the TV show, and basically it was like drunk and like grabbed like a girl who was working on the show and told her like, I want to eat your pussy. That's all she says. I want to eat your pussy, when she's drunk to another girl, and the other girl, like, I don't think she conceivably could have felt like she was being threatened, or as if there was any chance that this girl was actually going to try to like eat her pussy by force. But still, that girl knew the fucking game, and she goes to the fucking network and rats her out, and boom, she gets like $1 million settlement, and the fucking chick gets their show canceled.
Well, like, people don't want to have uncomfortable conversations. Well, that's a lot easier. It benefits her more than to go to her and be like, look, what you said made me uncomfortable. I didn't like it when you said that to me.
Right.
I mean, people just don't want to do that. And the internet makes that even easier.
Right. And I get it at the same time, like, because obviously. And
when you're drunk, like, it doesn't make it okay, but like, we need to understand the situations around this. I think we are creating a better environment where we should be able to talk about these things.
Definitely.
We should be able to talk about these things. And I refuse to be part of just like internet pylons. I feel like until you're like at the receiving end of one of those,
Yeah.
you really don't understand. And even if someone does something super fucked up, if they say something that I really don't agree with, honestly, I will reach out to them because I'm scared that they're, especially in porn, like we're kind of ostracized from a lot of society. And I don't want people to feel ostracized from like maybe their last community that they feel like they can be a part of.
Right.
And so I don't know.
I feel like, I agree that like it's always shocking to me the extent to which even in 2019 people feel comfortable dehumanizing like porn stars. Like in particular, you would think that any subgroup of people who have a particular job who on Instagram are constantly having their fucking accounts deleted, taken down, having content removed, even if that content doesn't violate the rules on Instagram or whatever, you would think that this would be a real cause for alarm. And like from my perspective, even though a lot of the biggest porn star chicks get their Instagrams deleted and have to deal with this shit constantly, that it's like almost impossible to make people actually feel sympathy for porn stars because they just immediately just go to like, she's a porn star. She deserves it. Yeah.
I mean, that's why I do these interviews, really. And I don't want, and I encourage people not to just show their sexual side on their social media. Show them that you're a fucking human.
That's true.
Because I know I used to dehumanize or objectify myself in a way. If I'm only posting pictures of my pussy and I'm not showing pictures of like my dog and all these other things, they're gonna think of me less of as a human.
Right.
And whether or not like it takes two, like, and I think my message should be now, like, to sex workers, like, who gives a fuck? The more confident and amazing and beautiful you are as a human, that's how you're going to change people's minds the best way. Because I put so much emphasis on caring about, like, the stigma that surrounds our industry. But, I mean, I really care more about empowering sex workers. But, I mean, everybody is sexual. And there's a stigma that surrounds sex in general. And I think that's what I should focus on because if you focus on that stigma, the one around sex work is going to be lessened too. And I think Hollywood has like a lot of power in how they portray sex workers, and I think that we are changing, like that Cam movie on Netflix. Like that was a very accurate portrayal of what it's like to be as a webcam model.
Okay, I don't think I've seen that.
It's like a horror movie. It's interesting.
Oh, really?
But it's actually realistic. It's compared to some other shit. You're like, this is sensationalized.
So you got into the game as a cam girl though?
Yeah, I started camming on My Free Cams like 9 years ago.
So what age? Like freshly into
20.
college?
Yeah, I had just turned 20.
And what was it like? You didn't want to go get a job at Walgreens, so you were like, "Fuck it, I'm about to."
Yeah, I think I had lost my scholarship because I had a full ride to ASU.
Why'd you lose it?
Because I was lazy and I was smoking weed.
Okay, respect, much respect. Yeah.
I was lazy and I was smoking a lot of weed, and I was fucking around on chat roulette and like Stickam and all those other websites. I was just doing shit for attention, and I was like, those little advertisements that would pop up in the corner on tube sites. I was like,
yeah,
I could be that girl. I could do that. Like, I'm already doing it for free. Why wouldn't I do it and get paid for it?
Were you thoughting around quite a bit your first 2 years of college?
No, I had a boyfriend from college, and then I got another boyfriend. But so when I tried to break up with him and he wouldn't let me, that's when my thoughting started, because I was like, I'm not going to regret being with this person my whole life. So I just cheated on him a lot.
Right. How was that? It was a good time at
It was fun.
college.
Yeah, in college,
It's like
ASU.
a little fishbowl though. It didn't get back to him.
So much sex. No, that is why I stopped,
So
because
much
eventually
sex.
it got back to him. One of his frat bros knew
Oh, for real?
someone that I was fucking, yeah.
Okay. Damn. Okay.
And so he found out,
And he
and
was
so I
heartbroken?
yeah, I was really sad, and so like I think I kept doing it for a little bit longer, and then I stopped eventually.
You have a boyfriend now though?
No, I'm single. I left him. We were together for like 8 years, and I just left him like a couple years ago to start doing porn and working with other people.
Oh, so you didn't actually get into doing porn until a couple years ago?
Yeah, no, I've only been doing porn for like about a year.
Oh, okay. But were you just fully into the cam side of things?
Yeah, I just all camming. I make enough money doing that. I just
Yeah.
wanted to fuck other people. It's fun.
On
I don't
camera
wanna-
though?
Yeah. I asked him. So we had a lot of fun, really fun threesomes in college and stuff like that. And eventually I was like, I would like 2 penises at once, please.
And what did you say?
At first he was like, how could I deny that to you? You gave me all these amazing experiences.
I shall bring you a penis.
Yes. Find me one. But then
Here,
eventually
look at this penis I have bequeathed to you.
he's like, why am I just not enough for you? I'm like, dude, you just can't have 2 cocks at once. Like, that's it. And so, you know, we just didn't see eye to eye. Greg Lansky reached out to me to shoot for Blacked at one point.
He got you into it?
He got
no,
me.
you turned him down?
He got me thinking about how I really wanted to shoot porn. Because if Greg Lansky's reaching out to you, you're like, I must be doing something right.
All right.
I'm gonna shoot for him eventually.
Oh, okay. You
know?
don't think you're ready for it?
I want to look good, and I want to be at my best when I perform for
What do you
Greg.
need to do to look your best? Do you feel?
I think I'm good now.
Oh, okay. But what, like
No,
6 months ago,
so
you weren't?
honestly, I've gotten a lot better at like just modeling my face and doing a lot of things that I feel like is essential to his level of production.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's
I've
respectable.
grown as a performer.
Definitely.
I hear his days and his sets are like long. Like it's a lot of hard work for him.
Right. I believe it.
So I want to be able to, you know, you ride a dick for 10 minutes. It's hard. You gotta
10
go to
minutes
the
riding a
gym.
dick for 10 minutes is hard. You try having a boner for like 6 hours doing cocaine fucking all night. That's hard.
as an Easter bunny.
Yeah, I did. No, I didn't actually have to fuck for that long. That's the cool thing about filming those Snapchat shows is that they
like-
usually take like 20 minutes.
Max, yeah, 10 to 20. It depends on who you're
Yeah,
filming
because
with.
if you
It's
get
dope.
10 minutes of Snapchat content, it's like, Jesus Christ, what do you want?
Seriously.
Yeah.
And people are always like, I masturbate. I came after 2 minutes.
Right.
That's the message I get all the time.
No,
I'm like,
yeah.
go, and now you get to watch it 8 times.
My whole life watching porn has been just like bit, like through the 45-minute file, just like clicking through, watching like all the different positions. God, thank God for Pornhub. They make it so easy with those little bars showing you where everything
Oh, it does.
changes.
I need to hire someone to do that for
That
me.
was the smartest thing that they ever did. That's genius.
Literally, that's a job I need someone to do for me.
Yeah.
Go click where my cum shots are in
Yeah.
the videos.
Oh yeah, having the cum shot right there, that's a fact. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just to make it easy
How
to
is it?
get to that.
How is it for you being a performer now? You're like a male performer. It's
I
crazy.
don't mind. It's so easy because it's like it's always like I'm filming Snapchat clips, so it's like 60 seconds at a time. So it's like even though I'm doing like the hottest shit, also like it's so easy for me to not nut because I'll just like have sex or like jerk off like 2 or 3 hours in advance.
Yeah.
And then I can just go all day when I'm fucking, it's like
You had practice.
I don't mind. It's annoying as shit having to get tested every couple of weeks, but
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
it's a new thing.
And then sometimes I live in Arizona, so they have to like ship it out, and sometimes it doesn't get there on time. So I had to miss a lesbian yacht orgy. I
Wow,
was
that's so
bummed.
sad.
I know.
A yacht orgy. Who was there? Anybody I know?
Sabina Rouge, Dill Cassidy.
Oh, I know Jill Cassidy. Yeah.
I fucked her yesterday.
How was that?
It was amazing. I feel like I get requested to work with her more than any other person.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's because we look similar.
What do you think your fans are looking for? Because that's always an interesting question. Like when I was talking to Lana Rhodes, she told me her fans only care about her ass. She said that she got her fake tits taken out and that nobody even cared because her fans are just solely
Obsessed with their ass.
obsessed with ass. I was like, wow, that's interesting.
You're right. I forget that that's like something that's people like about me. I need to focus on that more.
Do they like the butt?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I feel like Howard Stern made me hate my ass growing up.
Really?
Did you watch him a lot?
I did, but what did you say?
He would
about
always
it?
have ass contests, and if the girl's ass was too big, he would like criticize her on it. Like, oh,
Really?
she has a crease at the bottom. And I'd be like, oh, that's what mine looks like.
You need a
So-
crease. Yeah. How could you
And
not?
I would be so sad. I went
yeah.
on his show and I told him that. I was like, you literally made me self-conscious.
You went on
about
Howard
my ass."
Stern?
Yeah.
Damn. How'd you get on there?
I
gotta get
have a
on that.
publicist.
See, I need your publicist because I'm trying to get on Howard Stern.
You can hire her.
Old bastard. Yeah.
No, he's great. Legendary.
He is. He's the best. I remember as a kid that I remember actually that I like got the idea to like make like Jewish jokes from him, and then I like said one around my parents, and my parents fucking screamed at me and like got super mad at me and like had to explain the concept of like why that was fucked up to me and why
Do
it
you
was.
remember the joke?
No, it was just something based around like the stereotype of Jewish people having a lot of money, and they were like, that's a confusing thing to have to explain to a kid. Is like Howard Stern is Jewish, so he can make that joke. You're not Jewish, so you can't make that joke. And as a 13-year-old, I was like, are you fucking serious? Like that's not fair.
That makes no fucking sense.
If he
Mom.
can say it about himself, why can't I say it about him? Yeah,
That's hilarious.
still doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, that was a cool moment.
Wait, so you actually got to call Howard Stern out and said like big butts are good?
Yeah, so I was booked on there for someone's bachelor party, and it was the best ass contest.
Right.
And my publicist was like, you have to learn how to make your ass clap. And I was like, well, I can already do that. But we go on there, and I'm the only one that can make my ass clap, so I thought I was going to automatically win, but I didn't.
Really?
I was bummed. No, I kind of knew when this one girl walked out, the dude who was like picking, he could not stop staring at her butt.
Really?
So I was kind of like,
Does she have a fire butt?
yeah, it was a nice ass. It's Rochelle Ryan. So.
Okay.
It's a nice ass.
I gotta get like a spreadsheet of all these porn star names so I can get better at remembering them all.
It's been a couple years, man. There's
Right.
so many of them.
Really, there's a lot of good asses out there, and also, yeah, the porn thing is insane because it's just like every couple of years they're just rotating out, and then there's a new girl that has like almost exactly the same name, but it's a different person, and it's just constantly rotating.
Forever. I mean, if you're good at marketing yourself, you can figure it out and last.
A lot of the porn girls that like the first porn girls that I actually hung out with maybe like 6-7 years ago, I don't think any of the porn girls that I know now know who those girls are. Unless you make it to like superstar status, it's almost like 5 years down the road, like nobody's just gonna remember. Like, yeah, you're still on Pornhub, nobody's watching that shit, but
Unless you were just like that one dude's crush.
Exactly. Yeah, there's gonna be like one dude that still goes back to your shit. Yeah,
That's unfortunate.
that is weird, right? There's so many like ghost porn star Twitter accounts that have hella followers that like
They don't even do porn anymore.
don't even get updated. Like, it's just like this weird fake identity that got left behind, and now the person is like an Uber driver
Or like, yeah.
or real estate agent or whatever.
That's why you got to get your OnlyFans up. Make money forever.
Do you feel like that's like changed the game? Jason, can I have another water?
Holy shit, yeah. Here, you want some of this?
I don't know. We got a whole collection of waters over there, right? He'll get me one. It's okay.
Yeah,
Sorry,
no,
I don't think you got
honestly-
cooties or anything.
Well, no, I was going to say I kind of was feeling something, so maybe.
Oh, really? You feel like you might have something right now? That's cool.
That's how I felt the other day.
Really?
So I got strep throat on my very first porn set.
The first time you ever did
Pretty
it?
sure it was from Manuel, too.
Really?
Yeah.
He gave you strep.
I don't know who else's dick it would have been. It was the only one in my mouth that day.
Wow, that's so shitty. Yeah.
I mean, it could have been worse. I mean, I had chlamydia, but only in college. I've never had it since I shot porn.
Right.
Back when I was slutting it up and being unsafe.
I never had
Now
an
I'm a
STD
safe
until a
slut.
couple of years ago, and then I got chlamydia, and it was pretty.
It's like
shit.
It's just like a cold for your vagina.
Yeah, it was actually
dick.
over so fast, but it was just such a weird feeling to realize, like, oh,
There's something going
that's
on.
what that is. Like, it kind of feels weird when I pee right now, and that's there's like a thing inside there, I guess. Yeah.
Some bacteria.
Yeah, I don't know
I'm not a fucking
exactly.
scientist.
It just felt weird.
No, I
I,
wouldn't-
I never like let it, but that's the thing is like, I realized I had it within like a couple of days and got rid of it. I've heard about dudes who have it and are just letting it rock for like weeks or months, and they're just not going to get it taken care of, and they're fucking all kinds of girls. I'm
Dude.
like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm gonna say this, and I know that the dude, he's probably gonna see this because I think he knows you. But this dude wanted to fuck me raw, and I told him, no, you need to get tested. He's like, no, I know I don't have an STD. I would feel it. And he also says, whenever I fuck a girl raw, I'll dip my dick in apple cider vinegar after. So that's how I don't get STDs that way.
I don't even believe him. I don't believe that he's actually getting a cup of apple cider vinegar.
I'm not kidding. This dude pulled it out, and
He did it. He did it right in front of you. He pulled out the jug of it.
no, he pulled out like it was there at his apartment. He didn't show
okay.
me, and I was just like, I kind of regret fucking you with a condom. Right. Like if that's what you're really
What the
doing.
fuck?
And he was dead serious. I was like, oh god, that's some hippie shit. Like apple cider vinegar does not
Yeah, I don't trust that.
cure everything.
Do you feel like the Snapchat thing has like empowered women in the porn world and like made the porn brands less important?
Yes, I think that the future of the industry is like a bunch of individual performer brands and companies that cater to them, like OnlyFans and FanCentro and shit like that. Because unless you're making really high quality porn, like Lansky or fucking Caden Cross, there's not that many. Like, do you watch professional stuff or do you watch amateur stuff when you watch porn?
Probably professional, actually, because I do have a Blacked membership. I have to admit that right now.
Dope.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the one website I've been requested to work for by far the most.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get on there.
I
Get
know.
Jason Love up in there.
Oh my God, he's very attractive.
Yo, you like
Louis
him?
Smalls. There's a bunch of people that I would love to work with in this
The
industry.
best exchange I ever had in my life, and God, I've told this story in here before. This is so lame. But I was at a Pornhub party with Trippie Redd, and Jason Love walked up to me to say hi, and I was just like, "Yo, Trippie, this is Jason Love. You got like a huge dick." And Trippie just looked at me like, "What the fuck?" He was like so offended, so horrified.
No, it's a compliment. It's a
He's
compliment.
like, "Adam, you are so gay. What the fuck, dude?" I'm like, no, it's
what?
lit. Like,
it's
that's his
2019.
talent. Yeah.
A straight dude can compliment another straight dude's dick and not be gay.
That's
All
how I'm
right?
living.
All
Yep.
right? Or it's not Pride Month. That's what I say.
Oh, yeah. Pride Month would be taken out if we could stop. I would tell my friends, you got a nice hog, bro.
Beautiful.
Actually, to be honest,
That's
I
love.
don't know what any of my friends' dicks really look like, and it's kind of weird to think
But
that
they know
probably
what yours
Oh,
looks
exactly,
like.
yeah, that's where I was going with that. It's weird to think they probably know what mine looks like.
They're all comparing theirs to you.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, they're getting intimidated when they're around you. You're like, oh, that's why he was acting that way.
No, but I mean, you ever think about that? That one of your friends might have the secret, low key micro penis, and you just don't know about it. That they're packing like an inch and a half. I think Chris Long might have an inch and a half.
Unfortunately, I hang out with so many sex workers. I think I've seen all my friends' genitals. I'll be on
Yeah.
Reddit and I'll be like, oh, I know that butthole.
Right.
I swear I know so many. I could play a guessing game, a fucking porn star guessing game, and guess like 8 out of 10
I wonder
genitals.
if there was like a capacity that like a butthole could work like a fingerprint. Like if every butthole was so different that you could like identify people by their butthole, and that like to me like
I think they are.
right. Because every butthole's got to be different. It's just like the characteristics
Have
of it.
you
The
seen-
location of the pores might
Have you
be
seen the
different.
running butthole challenge?
Oh yeah, that is so crazy.
I feel like it's the butthole. It's what unites us all.
Wait, but are you talking about the videos where everybody like runs towards the camera and
shoves
jumps
their
and like
butthole at the camera.
yeah. I actually thought about asking my girlfriend not to make one, just in case she had the idea to make one. I'm like, yo, I just don't know if the world needs to see that. Because I thought, briefly for a second, I thought about making one myself, too.
So what? So you thought about making one, and then all of a sudden you go to the opposite end of like, no, I need to prevent this from happening.
You know, just because I'm like, this just, to me, this seems like a rough precedent. Like, I don't know if I want anyone to see my genitals or my butthole in that much detail. And then I started to think about my girl, and I was like, I
No.
bet she gonna have the bright idea to make one. Maybe I should tell her that I don't want to make one.
I think it's like the best challenge we've ever had.
Did you
Fuck
make
Ice
one?
Bucket. Yeah, I did.
You
Totally.
did?
Yeah.
Oh,
for sure.
Shit. I now that you mention it, because I only saw a couple. I think I might have seen yours then, actually.
Yeah, I made it. I did it 3 times before I actually got it. Like,
Where did you put the phone?
okay, so I put all of my pillows on a bed,
That's what I was thinking,
and then I
yeah.
took one of my like portable lights and I
Right.
set it down and I put my phone in front of it because the first time I did it, you couldn't see my butthole at all. It was so dark. So then I did it.
I didn't know it was the butthole challenge because the ones that I saw didn't show much butthole. It was like all
was all
pussy.
vag.
Yeah.
I think that some fan actually started hashtagging the running vag challenge.
It'd be cool if I did it fakey, like ran backwards and then like, because that's how you're really gonna see the butthole is if you hit it fakey and just fully like extend and just like you gotta have like the crazy lights and shit though, so that like by
You
the
can
time
actually
you
see-
actually get there, it's like fully like I want to see full HD quality image of my shitter.
Put something down there, like slap a bumper sticker on.
Maybe
No jumper.
I'll rock a butt plug and then take it out seconds before I do
Someone
it.
actually did put a butt plug in that says respect sex workers or something, and she did it, and you can like freeze frame and like see it. I was like,
Wow.
just clapping. Someone did a front flip and did one. I'm
Holy
impressed.
shit. That's amazing. Front flip.
I want to see someone like jump off a car
Yeah.
onto a floating raft.
An outdoor one where you could tell that they're outdoor and that they're just jumping onto concrete.
That was my initial one I was going to do was an outdoor one, but the only place I could do it was like by my pool because you need something soft to land on.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem.
It's like, where the fuck am I going to get a pile of...
See,
not break my
we
kneecaps?
are thinking about buying a house and being able to have our own pool, and then all of a sudden it just starts to be like, wow, now we can like film sex shit just out in the yard or by the pool, which right now we don't.
beautiful.
We like are in an apartment complex that has a pool, but
yeah.
if you did that, there would probably be like a fucking
start
old lady or
filming now,
yeah,
save it up, then when you move out, release it.
yeah. What the
So you
load?
don't get kicked out.
Oh, okay. No,
No, like,
yeah.
so that's what I do. Like, if
I thought
I
you
ever
were talking
get,
about my nut. That's crazy.
I can
Start
hold a
saving
fucking-
now. I'm like, it might be a couple
It's gonna
months.
be a lot of jizz.
that's gonna be fucking horrible.
No, if you film shit in your pool, like, just don't release it after you move out, so you don't get kicked out.
No,
That's
but
what
the
I do.
problem is going to be that some 70-year-old lady is going to walk by, God forbid, like a fucking family, and they're just going to see me just getting my dick sucked. That'd be super awkward.
That's why you do it at 3 a.m. after you get back from the club. No one's awake. The cleared.
Wow, that's a crazy
Nobody's
idea too.
awake.
That would be such a weird thing to get kicked out of my apartment for, though.
I've never gotten caught, man. You just get a lookout. Super simple.
Right.
People are loud.
That's
Put yourself
funny.
in the corner of a room.
What about like
Perspective.
Adriana Chechik
Squirting all over
squirting
an
at Dave and
escalator.
Buster's on the escalator
That was at Dave and Buster's.
right over there in Hollywood? And she told me that it wasn't that big a deal because she like knew one of the employees, and he told her though, like, if you ever come back, you're not allowed to do that again or something.
Okay, I thought it was like an outdoor escalator, and I was like, in LA, it smells like piss anywhere, everywhere, so whatever.
Right.
But
This
if
is
that
making it a
was
little bit more like
inside-
downtown.
Yeah, like just do it like at an outdoor place that already smells like piss. Then I feel like
Right.
it's ethically okay.
Respect Dave and Buster's, Adriana.
Don't make someone else clean up your squirt.
Bro, this bitch pissed on my couch too, real talk. No, she came over after the bar, and we're all hooking up, her, me, my girl, her other friend, and then all of a sudden she's just like squirting / peeing on my couch.
No, she's the squirt master.
She's out of control.
Have you ever made a girl squirt from eating her pussy? Because I have, and I felt like a fucking god.
Really?
Yeah. When it
don't
was
know.
happening, I think the look on my face in the porno was like, is this really happening?
Oh, it happened on camera.
Yeah, it was my
that's lit.
first girl scene.
Wow. And was it? But I feel like Adriana's like the type that it seems like it's kind
No.
of easy to make her come.
Okay.
/
so maybe the girl
blast
was just
piss
super slutty.
everywhere. I don't know.
No, I know. I don't know how some girls can squirt from anal. I'm like, that's a whole nother level of, I don't know.
But
maybe
you are
one
on
day.
Team Anal.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had
on camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
Butts. Dicks go in my butt.
How's that?
It's fun.
How's that treating you?
It's good. Still
Still holding it
shitting.
down?
We're good.
So do you do a podcast or something about like sex worker stuff, or
No,
they were
I'm
telling
actually
me?
in the talks to do
Oh.
a podcast, but
Okay.
I think it's coming.
It's coming
this
together.
year.
What are you hoping to bring to the game? What does the game need in terms of sex worker based content?
I mean, I think the fucking country needs an open dialogue about literally everything. So that's what I'm kind of down for.
That's true.
Any sort of difficult topic, I'll talk about it. I'll take the heat. I don't give a fuck. Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
Yeah. Do you think that there just needs to be like a nationwide legalization of prostitution so that we can create like a effective like system in which like women are actually protected and are able to do this without?
I think that
Breaking the law.
the two things that make sex work dangerous are the criminalization that surrounds it and the stigma that surrounds it. So I think that we should be able to do whatever the fuck we want with our bodies as long as we're not hurting or inconveniencing another human being. That's the basis of what I believe. So everybody who's fighting for bodily autonomy out there should be fighting for sex work. And we want it to be decriminalized because if we legalize it, I don't necessarily trust the government to tell me when and how I can use my own body. We don't want the government coming in and forcing you to get tested every 2 weeks. We want you as a responsible adult to go out there and get tested every 2 weeks. We want clients to be able to choose the sex workers who they know are getting tested every 2 weeks. I do not want sex work to be legalized because I'm so scared of what the government and a bunch of other shit is going to come in and like manipulate us. So we want decrim, and I think it's on the ballot in New York, or people are writing bills for it in New York right now. And
So you think it would be better that it's just decriminalized than that it was like created like some kind of social system
I think
that would
that-
take care of it? Like when you go to like Amsterdam and there's like specific restrictions and there's like a committee that
I
helps
definitely
deal
think
with all
that
this.
we should self-regulate.
Okay.
If we're going to regulate, I want to regulate ourselves. Like, the pass system that we all put ourselves into for adult entertainment, or we all
Right.
get tested through talent testing. That's something we decided to do ourselves because we don't want the government coming in and telling us and forcing us to wear condoms or forcing us to do these things. When we're adults, we should be able to do what we want.
I always think that is so interesting that the porn industry has been able to like keep regulation at bay by basically creating all these systems to
Yeah.
sort of take care of the things that they might potentially create if they were to have created like a
There's a
regulatory
lot
body.
of libertarians in the porn industry because
Right.
they have experienced successful self-regulation like that. So they believe that the whole country could do it, which
Yeah.
in theory.
Shout out to Spiegler. He was saying he's a libertarian when he was on here the other day.
Spiegler's great. I mean, he's the only agent I ever considered going with. I'm independent, so I book my own stuff. But I mean, he's the best of the best. He creates stars, but I mean, at the same time, all of his girls do a lot of porn. I don't know if that was how much porn I wanted to shoot.
Really? You don't shoot that much?
No.
Or you didn't want to be on that 7-day-a-week schedule?
There's no way I could handle that.
Really?
I shot 2 scenes in one day, and I was like...
Like, if you want to hook up with a Spiegler girl, it is so goddamn difficult because they, like, he's just got them working so
booked.
much that it's like you get put on, like, a 2-month fucking schedule or to do a fucking Snapchat collab or whatever. Or they got to be home by 7:30 or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't fuck around. He's funny, too.
Oh, man, his podcast was one of the most fun ones I've ever
hilarious.
done. It's just so fascinating. I was taken aback by him because it's like a dude who, the way he talks about his girls is just like completely the opposite of how I imagine the average agent would be. It's just like he was talking about this big extended group of his daughters. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that since he doesn't get his money and his income source directly from the girls, like he made his money somewhere else, he's not like dependent and trying to push them and put them in scenarios compared to other agents.
Right.
And I think he has such a small number of them. It's a lot harder for him to forget that they're people.
Right.
I think that's where a lot of the problems with these other agents come from is they have so many girls, they forget that they're dealing with people. They forget what so-and-so said she didn't want to do, incest, still sends her to
And if you were a real capitalist and you had a business like his, what would you do? You would hire a bunch of people and you would try to like basically take over the game, and you would have, you know, instead of 30 or whatever, you'd have like 300, and you'd have all these different people working for you. But then, you know, you would lose a lot of the personal touch. It would be much, much harder to keep the same values as you grow like that. And he kind of avoids that by keeping it very, very tight.
He's so exclusive. It's like an honor to become a Spiegler girl, you know?
What's it like being independent and not having an agent? Do you have problems with it? Are you able to deal with it just because you're sort of business minded, and then a lot of girls can't because they're maybe a little bit more
I think you gotta realize that how important networking is, because people that have met me face to face hire me a lot more. I think my personality is part of what makes me attractive.
Yeah.
So sending them a picture of me isn't really gonna necessarily maybe get them to hire me. So going to these parties and these expos and stuff like that is really key to like actually getting booked.
Yeah.
So it's just like any other fucking business though, like networking. How many people get gigs through networking?
Oh yeah,
80%. Like I was in the Future Business Leaders of America in high school.
Really?
And so I
Little
really,
did they know.
I know.
The business
what
of
business was I
boning.
going to be leading? Yeah. No, I do use all of those business things that I learned every day in this industry because it is a business, and it took me a while. Like the money kind of just came so easy to me that I wasn't really taking it seriously like a business, and I have been this past couple years. So I feel like I'm only maybe like 2 years old.
Right.
Because I've actually only been taking it seriously for the past 2 years.
Right. No, yeah. I mean, like in terms of just the personal relationship thing, that's so true, because in the rap game, I see it all the time where an artist comes out for the first time and they're popping and they start getting booked for shows and stuff. But if you actually like take a little bit of extra energy to really like make sure that your relationship to the promoter or the people that are like helping you out in each different area actually likes you enough, it's like they could book anybody any fucking night of the week. You know, they're just handing out money. It's like if you like actually make them like you, then and also I know a bunch of artists who have basically like they weren't like blackballed out of the industry, but basically have like gotten themselves blacklisted by being so unprofessional and just not showing up. And the venues or the festival promoters basically just feel like, why would we fucking support this dude? Like he's not as popular as he was a year or two ago, and he's a pain in my ass, and I just don't want to deal with him. He fucked us over this one year. You know, these festivals are like companies who book you, and I'm sure that the porn world and the strip club featured dancing circuit, etc., are all the same, where it's like very easy to make yourself like unliked and people just won't want to book you.
You can get so much further just being a nice, decent human being. Like you're dealing with humans. Why would they want to go the extra mile for you if you're being a bitch?
Yeah, definitely.
But then, I mean, there's kind of like a monopoly on our industry. So if you get in with like some certain companies, like I do hear a lot that if you can kind of be shit,
right?
Sometimes as a porn star, if you
in the
like,
porn world, you can be a total psychopath and a huge bitch. But if you're really hot or if the fans really like you, it can definitely give you a lot of leverage.
Yeah, because I mean, you're just doing a scene. It's not like it's too much in depth of who you are.
Do people come up to you in public and know who you are and are like,
Yeah.
I jerked off to you last night.
I get a couple interactions in person, maybe like once a month. I'll get like 4 people coming up to me, but most of the things I get is people will message me on Snapchat and be like, "Did I just see you at the grocery store?" Or "My boyfriend just saw you at the grocery store," or something like that. Because I feel like it's kind of like if someone comes up to you and they recognize you, it's like, "Oh, I watch your podcast."
Right.
They come up to me in the grocery store. It's like, "Hey, I masturbate to you."
I looked at your vagina last week. I was staring right at it.
And while I will never make that awkward, like I think it's totally dope, but I can understand how that would be a little intimidating. Like a lot of the time, I live in Arizona, so there's not a lot of like celebrities out there.
Right.
So it's weird.
That's interesting. Yeah. Like the porn star thing probably holds a little bit more clout there.
Oh yeah.
You didn't start out as like a tilted kilt waitress. Some girl was telling me that the other day that was her entry into the porn world was tilted kilt.
Okay, so before I got into camming, I applied to be at a sex toy store, and then as a nude art model at Arizona State and at Hooters. So I was trying to do something sexual.
Hooters is like the strip club breeding ground, isn't it?
It is. You get a taste of that
money. You just take your pants off, boom, you're a stripper.
You're halfway there.
You're pretty close, yeah.
I mean, are Hooters waitresses sex workers?
That's a good tweet.
I know, right? Oh
no,
my God.
I remember that when I was in high school, that there was a chick who was a substitute teacher who also worked at Hooters, and it was a big controversy. I think they fired her or something, and it was this whole thing.
Christ. And that's what I'm talking about. Like I say, the stigma that surrounds sex work, but that's literally such a small part of it. You can be a bikini model.
This was like the year 2000, so like I feel like working at Hooters now has been like mostly destigmatized, but I don't know.
Thank you, Happy. Was it Happy Gilmore or Big Daddy? Big Daddy. He's like making fun of that chick for working at Hooters the whole movie.
You know, like respect to Hooters, but there is something a little bit like condescending about wearing that shirt and like just that whole outfit and shit. It is kind of this weird little orange,
like shiny orange.
That outfit
tights.
was designed for white girls with no ass to just like fucking make it look like you're looking at something a little bit better than what you're really looking at.
They're so tight. If you have an ass, it like will like literally compress it.
Oh yeah, actually, if you're banging, the Hooters outfit probably goes a long way. Yeah, that's true. But when's the last time you went to Hooters?
It's been a while. It was like college guy friends that dragged me along, I think.
Yeah.
To watch a game or some shit.
Yeah, I used to go there to watch like UFC fights and shit. Or they would have these like tater tots that were like loaded with all kinds of shit.
You're like, no, babe, I want to go to Hooters for the tater tots. I swear.
I want the fried pickles. Yeah.
I swear the tater tots.
I'll be going to Hooters trying to pull a threesome out the Hooters. Like you just start like talking to the waitress and shit. Like fucking just, what about her?
That's hilarious.
Oh man.
Hey, that's a porn scene idea right there.
There it is. But Hooters probably wouldn't want to get involved in the game, don't you think?
eBay used Hooters uniform.
There you go. You get cease and desist for putting that on your private snap.
I dare you. Come on.
I dare you, Hooters. That's so true.
Come for me.
There's actually a scene in The Office where Michael Scott defends Hooters because Angela. Do you watch The Office? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, so Angela refers to Hooters as a Hooters strip club, and Michael says like, "Hey, Hooters is not a strip club." And he looks at the camera and says like, "It's a family-friendly restaurant with over 400 locations nationwide," or some shit like that. And I just thought that like Michael Scott standing for fucking for Hooters is just like the coolest. That's so him.
That's wholesome as
You
fuck.
can learn a lot about life from what Michael Scott likes, because there's one episode too where Michael Scott just says, he goes like, "Oh yeah," he goes, "I love Fear Factor. Really big fan of anything Joe Rogan does." And I'm like, oh my God, that is the illest little like tightly done Joe Rogan shade. Because if Michael Scott is like saying that he's into Joe Rogan, that's the writers saying that they think Joe Rogan's kind of corny.
It's a very
crazy.
You're right. It is like a very complicated brand.
Anything Michael Scott likes is like that the writer is telling you that this is the lamest shit on earth.
Sparrow.
Yeah. Yes, he loves Sparrow pizza, the worst pizza on earth. Yes.
You're like that, Joe Rogan. You're the Sparrow of pizza.
I'm gonna go get my favorite local pizza spice. Some shit like that. Or,
That's just amazing.
He goes on vacation to Sandals, Jamaica. You know.
He would. What else would Michael Scott do?
So much. He drives a what was it, a sea breeze? What is it?
A Sebring.
A Sebring, yes. So much.
I had my friend, like, she had a grandma and she would drive us in that same car. So
Really?
whenever I think of Michael Scott, I'm like, a fucking grandma car, motherfucker.
Damn, that's
He's
hot.
even in the corner. You're
That's
into
hot.
gilfs?
Yeah.
I mean, I swear to God, I'm never going to stop making porn.
Really?
It's so easy to, I mean, at least nude pictures of myself or like just documenting the sex I'm already having. Like, I feel like I was thinking about this last night. You and Lena are like the most authentic online personalities because you actually show that part of your lives too.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that. Like, there's like, you guys show a lot of you show all of your life except for that part.
It's actually
and you
weird
guys show that part.
because we now, like, we had threesomes with so many hot porn chicks and stuff before we started filming them.
Yeah.
And when I think about it now, I'm like, damn, like, you left a lot of money on the table by not filming that night.
I mean, that's what I feel about every nude picture I took from like 18 to 20.
Yeah.
Where are they?
Yeah. And,
No.
and why? Like, you didn't monetize it, damn.
Oh no, I just found a bag of panties from like high school, so I started selling those.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like that about when I see a girl post. If you see a girl posting hot photos on Instagram now and she doesn't tag Fashion Nova or Pretty Little Thing or whatever, then it's almost like, well, what are you even doing? Like, why are you posting
even
this?
on
Like,
Instagram?
all these other bitches are monetizing their Fashion Nova posts. You're not. Like, it's almost kind of then why even post a photo? Like, you know, it would be like putting a show on TV, but there's no ads on the show. It's like,
Why would you?
to me, it makes sense. Like, okay, let's like watch a show with no ads, but to the company, it makes no sense. Like, the whole point is for us to make money by putting
That's how I feel
advertising
about
next to the
every
show.
sexy girl who's not doing like Snapchat or OnlyFans, because you know,
Right?
we're all trading nudes.
Yeah.
I mean, I was at least growing up.
It is weird when you see it. Like, we met this girl on the street the other day who just lives on the East Coast, and she just, like, for some reason told us right away that she had 600,000 followers, and we were like, why? And she, which is actually, that's kind of fucked up. We were like, why? And she was like, probably my ass. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, she like had a nice ass. We looked at her Instagram. She had an amazing ass on Instagram. I mean, I didn't see her naked or anything, so I don't know how different it was. Like, you know, and I mean, it looked pretty good in real life, and then it looked amazing on Instagram. And I was just thinking, I'm like, it's kind of weird because she doesn't like have like an OnlyFans link or a whatever link in her bio. I wonder if she does have a private Snap and she's just super low key about it, or I wonder if she's just, because I just started thinking right away. I'm like, oh, I could get this girl to start private Snap. You know, like she's just totally, she's ready to go. Like,
she's like 95% of the way
because
there.
she's poking her booty out on every single photo on Instagram.
Dudes
it's like
are
you're so close.
Dudes they're still jerking it too.
Yes.
Like, dudes are looking at going specifically to her Instagram to jerk their dicks off to come every day. And she could be making money from it.
And if
That's
she
just
realized that even
free semen.
if she has 600,000 followers on Instagram, that she could probably, without question, if she started a private Snapchat tomorrow, could be making more than she could make at any job that she could have right now.
10 grand easily.
Right, because 10 grand's kind of the line, because it's like, you don't go to college and then get a job where you make more than 10 grand a month. It's like almost impossible if you really think about it. People who make more than that either like start businesses or become like doctors or lawyers. You have to start your own practice, whatever. So it's like, you know, someone with 600,000 followers could probably hit
Easily.
10 grand pretty quickly, and that's kind of crazy to think about. Yeah.
Money on the table.
Money on the table, bitch. Get yourself a private Snap.
It's hard for me not to. It's really hard for me not to encourage every single person in the world to do sex work, but I don't want to dilute the market. Stay
I would
away.
like to see a senator or like, you know, a congressman have a private Snap.
I mean, I'm pretty sure AOC is probably sent a nude picture or two.
Holy shit, that's crazy to think about. Because I mean, she was like a teenage girl, like not that long
age,
ago.
right?
Yeah.
So I mean, and I think the whole thing is like we need to take that control away from the bad people and stop letting them use this shit to control us. Because like, if we let the fucking government come into our bedrooms and regulate what we can do with our bodies between two consenting adults, I think that's insane, and it just like lets us allow them to control us in so many other fucking ways.
So this morning, I forgot about this, but this morning I wake up, I look at Twitter, and I'm shocked because I just see a post where Bella Thorne posted fucking photos of her nipples and shit, and I'm like, what the fuck is she doing? Then I read the post, and she's basically like has a hacker who got all these naked photos of her and was trying to extort her for money to leak the photos, and it's not anything.
So she's just like,
it's just her chilling with her shirt off. It's just not anything like that.
did she
like,
release them to like?
she released it so that he couldn't release it, and I had a lot of
I
respect
have
for
so
that.
much respect for her.
Yeah.
She's like a very authentic sexual person, and I
Right.
respect that.
And like, what is like? She's got all kinds of sexy photos on the internet. It's just like kind of crazy. I appreciate the fact that she kind of like took it into her own hands. Like, fuck it. Like, I know I look good. I'm fucking. You see every part of my body except the fucking 1 inch here, and this tiny little sliver of vagina. And the butthole in the back, I guess.
Explain it to me.
Explain to me why it's such a big deal that you could be completely naked, but if you cover these little tiny parts, then you're not naked. It doesn't make any sense.
I always say, like, let's get male nipple pasties and pass them out to chicks and just put those over your nipples. Right. And then, are we good now? Because it's a man nipple.
I'm offended when I see a man's nipples on social media. Like, I think we should have an overall ban on all nipples, including cats.
Cat nipples.
I look at my cat from the bottom side, and he got like 8 of those things. I'm like, you're disgusting.
You're a disgusting whore.
Why do you just let that hang out?
I slut shame everyone equally, including my cat.
Including my cat. My cat probably got feline AIDS too. As far as
I mean, who doesn't? I feel like so many cats have herpes. I feel like I've heard that from so many people.
Really? That's a thing?
Is it cat herpes?
See, God, I'm so glad. If I caught my cat with a herpes, I'd be so bummed out.
No, it's cool. Just go take your, what is it? Valtrex? I don't know. If they're selling it over the counter, Abreva. I've never had a cold sore, but I don't know.
You never had it?
No.
I went to
I'm
Australia.
really hydrated though, because the thing is, like, you can have herpes inside of your system, and it's just not active.
Right.
If you're taking care of yourself, that also means you're not going to pass it on to someone.
Well, I don't have herpes, but I went to Australia and I got a fucking weird sore on my lip, and then as soon as I left Australia, it went away. And I went to the doctor right away and got tested for herpes again, and I didn't have it. But it's something about that dry heat that made my fucking lips start doing weird shit.
Anytime I get a zit anywhere close to my mouth, I'm
that's
like,
the worst.
great.
Yeah. You're walking around looking.
I'm just like, yo, just don't make out with me.
No, pop this zit with your fucking teeth.
With your teeth.
Yeah.
Popping videos. Ew.
You're not into that?
My sister is, and she tries to get me to watch them all the time, and I'm like, I'm going to go in the other room so I don't vomit.
I haven't had a staph infection in a long time, but when I did, squeezing all the goop out of that was the best.
It's only satisfying if it's coming from yourself. I don't understand the satisfaction in watching it from someone else. It just grosses me out.
I feel that. Yeah.
Like myself, I'll stand in front of a mirror for hours and destroy my skin.
Right. Like I will inhale my own farts for hours, but like if I walk into a bathroom and if I walk into a bathroom,
are disgusting. My farts are fine.
If I walk in a bathroom and somebody took a shit 15 minutes before, I'm like, ugh,
my eyes start to water.
Light a candle. God, no. But I could easily sit in the bathroom in my own shit, just completely clouding up the whole room.
It doesn't smell bad.
It's fine. I don't care.
At least you admit it.
Yeah. No, totally. That's my scarlet letter.
Everyone likes their own brand, isn't that what they say?
Yes. But any girl who sleeps over, it's like I'm farting in my sleep. Like my girl told me,
you
like
can't control it.
The day I met her, the first night she slept over, boom, I was farting like crazy in my sleep. She's like, I was snuggled up on you. You're like farting right on my leg and shit. So it's like any girl that I'm gonna be seeing on any level is gonna figure it out.
Preparing for that.
I don't think I fart that much during the day, but apparently during the night it goes crazy.
You just save them up for your dreams.
Anyway, you got anything you want to promote? What are you up to?
Not really. You can follow me on Snapchat at Banksy.69.
You're Banksy.
Breaking news. That would be, no. He's my favorite artist. They are my favorite artist. I'm assuming it's a man.
I assume it's a collective. Right?
That's cool.
I don't know. Possibly.
I hadn't thought about that.
I think that's why they can't really like identify it as being one person, because even if they do catch one, like it would be too easy to operate it as a collective. You know, why do the dirty work yourself? Even if you're the guy coming up with the ideas, if you're the guy coming up with the ideas, you can have somebody go put it up.
The reason I don't think it's a collective is because I feel like people are really bad at keeping secrets.
I feel
like the more people you fucking involve, the more likely. But
that's a very good point.
But he still does have a team. Like, you know, like the whole Sotheby's thing that happened.
He hires like PR companies and shit at the very least. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess you can do everything over the phone these days. It's not like you need to fucking ever meet with someone in person.
I'm gonna start my own Banksy type project.
Yeah.
Nah, you can't monetize
Let's go tonight.
that. Let's do it. Yeah.
You can't.
I mean, you could. It's just more long term. You know. That would be cool though.
Yeah, I'm all about least amount of effort.
We thought about hiring like graffiti kids to like go put up stuff of like our logos all over the place and shit, but that's kind of scary too, because like like what if the city decides that I'm liable and then I decide, oh great, I have to hire a lawyer and pay him a ridiculous amount of money to fight this.
You could probably just like suggest it. People do it on their own.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah.
Oh, wow, look, I found this really cool new no jumper graffiti right here. Wow, I'm going to give him a free something.
Well, that's the whole thing. Don't you feel like the cops just don't have the resources to like investigate anything? Because I know so many people who like pretty like blatantly like sell drugs on Instagram and shit, and it just doesn't seem like the cops even have the resources to do anything about it.
Why should they fucking spend their time and energy? Go focus on violent criminals.
But if you were in Wichita, exactly, that's what it is. Is that they're not fighting for turf. When there's like murders and shit associated with drug dealers, that's when they get interested.
Yeah, someone I know, they're like, yeah, I put all my prices up on Snapchat. I'm like, I was thinking, is that the smartest thing? But like,
but I mean, I know people who like sell coke at bars in Hollywood for so many years, and it doesn't even ever seem to occur to them that there's anything that could happen.
Like if you lay low.
Yeah.
And you don't fuck with the wrong
But if you kill someone for trying to sell coke at that same bar as you, then you're in trouble.
I think that's maybe justified.
I guess.
I guess murder.
Well, it's like you could sell pussy too, like, but and then like until you take it to a grand scale. Like if you kill one of the dudes that you're selling pussy to, then it could be an issue.
Undercover. No, I mean it sucks though, because like girls have gotten recently like reprimanded coming back into the country and stuff. So I think that
I've heard about that too.
It's getting weird out there.
Really?
I think socially we're like kind of growing, and then for some reason there's like a lot of pushback. There's like organizations that they literally are trying to like get rid of porn, which just seems like such a waste of time and energy.
Yeah,
like
that's crazy.
It's gonna go away or something.
It ain't going nowhere. If anything, imagine if everybody who wanted to watch porn had to be on the dark web and shit.
The dark web would get popular real quick.
You get your door kicked in for like watching just like a regular old fucking Jenna Jameson movie or something.
Yeah, let's not go towards Handmaid's Tale territory, people.
No, that's
leave people alone. Let them fucking do whatever they want in their house, as long as they're not hurting people. Let me do drugs. Let me do mushrooms. Let me do whatever I want.
Yeah, we should go to Denver and do mushrooms legally.
Oh my God, isn't that dope though?
This is a good step, yeah.
Psilocybin for life. It's been too long. When's the last time you did shrooms?
Oh, the same thing. It's been a while, but I've been thinking about doing it again soon, yeah.
Yeah. I watched The Goonies last time.
Really? I still have never seen that.
I watched The Goonies on TV, and the commercials were more entertaining than the fucking show.
People get so mad when I say that I've never seen The Goonies.
I mean, hey.
I don't know how I've been avoiding it either, to be honest.
It's a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
Don't you ever watch shit from the 80s or the 70s and you're like, oh yeah, now I know why it's a cult classic. It's a really fucking good movie.
I feel like it's kind of like the opposite reaction. Like the other day we were like playing a bunch of video games from the 80s and I'm like, these are all terrible. Like video games like modern day are a million times better than this. Yep.
Let's go play some
I'm a Tetris
Pong.
addict, but I play Tetris for the Nintendo Switch now. And like when I go play Tetris for Nintendo now,
Tetris is dope though. And then like you're like just thinking about Tetris for like hours after you stop
have the
playing.
problem where Tetris is stuck in my brain and I'm constantly like, I have Tetris scenarios like replaying in my brain all the time. It's not that bad right now because I haven't been playing for the past week, but if I like put in like sometimes a podcast I want to listen to will come out and I will sit there for 2 hours and play Tetris and listen to the whole podcast, and then afterwards I just have the ghost blocks in my head.
I did that with Grand Theft Auto. I think I do that with anything that I do like a lot. League of Legends is like one game that I play a lot.
You do? Oh
think
wow,
about
interesting.
It all the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Brains are weird.
A lot of video games I've been like that. When I was an online poker dude, oh my god, it's just I would be sleeping and it would still be like
thinking about it.
Yeah, the hands would be playing in my head without me trying. But I mean that's
the
scary.
Ghost one, that's like the perfect description because you do see the outline in your head.
When you don't feel like you're in control of your own thoughts, it can be really fucking scary because
like it's a compulsion.
Yeah, it's like I'm addicted to fucking heroin. Like if you're a heroin addict, you don't control it. Your body's curing it.
Like addiction is part habit. You had to get like I always get myself. I'm an addict, so I've gotten myself into those addictions. They don't just happen.
No, yeah.
You have to do something enough repetitive.
You have to like
times.
it enough to do it enough that you get on the fucking treadmill.
Yeah, anything is fucking addicting. So quit trying to get rid of porn. People are addicted to cheesy potatoes too.
Wow. Yeah, they are.
Have you ever seen those like weird addiction?
Oh yeah, the cheesy potato one. Yeah, I did see that. It's funny. No, there's a big part of me that like just wants to just eat cheesy potatoes and shit all the time, yeah, or like
the Irish
fat Sal's or whatever. You know, there's a lot of stuff that I would love to eat every day that I really should not.
I just can't.
No, yeah, I'd look terrible. I'd look like Donald Trump in no time.
No, thank you.
All right. It was nice having you on the show.
Yeah,
Appreciate
it was great
it.
talking
We didn't
with
even
you.
smoke, but it was still like this high ass conversation because I was so high from before.
Yeah, I actually got high before we came too.
You
so
did?
We can smoke now.
Okay, there you go.
Later.
We internalized the kush.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Ginger Banks, go find her on Pornhub, on Apple Music, on Spotify.
Just Google me, bitch.
Google it. She's probably shadow banned on Google. No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. Check us out on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes. Appreciate you.